Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw tips and tricks, and if some of you have been following along, I helped somebody figure out how to do this, and he sent me back the file. He didn't really ask me to critique it, but I'm going to. What I would always do is fill it in with the Smart Fill tool, and it looks like all the lines are filled, and that's maybe what he did, but if you look closely, these lines are not. He's going to cut this out, and this framework needs to be touching inside there. This is an easy fix. Everything that's on here is an easy fix. So if we just take the shape tool and grab those two nodes and bring them down and bring all these down at one time, I'm just going, and you could, make sure they're straight. Let me back up here a little bit. Grab these two and then kind of bring them at an angle. And I'm just going to do a few. And then instead of re-welding it, I think it'd be better just to use the Smart Fill tool and just cut that out. And then you'll definitely want to use the Smart Fill tool to seal this up and make it all one unit. And I'm just going to do a few more. And then there are some problems with the lines that are over. That might be his look that he wants, but I'm going to say no. So I'm going to take those three and just delete them. And then you can kind of back up and see multiple nodes, and a lot of that will be corrected when we Smart Fill it. But like here's a couple more that they're just not touching. And so just grab those two nodes and bring them down, kind of try to get that same angle. While you're there, I would just go ahead and delete those two nodes. It had a little jagged part to it. If you stay on the same angle, you're not changing anything, just virtually delete these things. And you can see here, that would be a fatal error if you're trying to cut that out. What I would do in this case, I'm just going to do one of these. I would take the shape tool and delete these two nodes. Select them again and right click and turn them into a line, and then grab these two nodes and bring them over and try to stay on that same angle, and then virtual segment delete key that right there. And I would just go all the way around the outside. And then I didn't look at it really, really close, but I'm just going to pick a spot. And like right here, he's going to be cutting this out, and this is going to show. So what I'm going to do is just take the shape tool and just delete those two. Whoop. I'm going to delete those. I'm going to delete these. I'm going to delete these. And these are just lines that he came past the line. You could delete that one, but you could delete that two, and just go in here and delete that. And I would just go over every line. You could just see where he went. He went a little bit far with his lines. Just delete them. Just watch out for movement. You don't want anything to move. And if you delete them all at the same time, they'll stay a straight line. Other than that, I think it looks good. There's a ton of nodes on this. If you look at this, that might be okay and might not. I would probably reduce some of these nodes. You could select it all and go right here and just type in 20. It'll kind of still keep the same shape. He is cutting this out. This is going to be too close, depending on what he's doing. You could delete some of this inner part. That's a really sharp point, like right here where it's connected. That's not connected very much. So I would take, and let's just go ahead and clean this up while I'm here. Just take the shape tool, select all those and hit delete. That's got a little bit of curve to it. You could right click and turn it in. Well, it's already a curve. You could straighten it out if you wanted. It is part of the eye, so you'd really need to back up. But we need to make this gap a little bigger. And that's a really sharp point, so I'm going to just delete one of the leading nodes and then just bring that out. You just need something to hold it to. And on this one that is a little bit, really a sharp point, and like I said yesterday, I don't know how he's cutting this out. It's so thin. You know, that's a pretty sharp point, but you could leave it. This is an awful lot of cutting. And, you know, you can just swipe through them and delete them if you want. You know, that's personal preference on how you want to look. This hole right here is really thin, but then again, I don't know what he's cutting it with. These are just lines that he had left over and from the other lines. And I actually think there might be a problem here. No, it looks good. You know, just clean it up, go around, and this is a good way to use the pan tool. And if you've never used the pan tool, you can have it on this zoom level and go to the magnifying glass and pan, and then you can slowly move over the whole thing. And what's neat about it, like that's a pretty sharp line right there, but I'm gonna leave it. So I would just go pan left and right, like, and then click on your space bar, and it should go to the shape tool. And we'll just delete that, hit your space bar again. Well, it's not jogging between there. But just keep panning over, and you can zoom it out. You know, here's another one of those spots that is not connected. You can also hit Z on your keyboard to zoom in. And I'm already taking more time than I wanted to. But you can just see the ones that, if they're not in this framework, they're gonna cut out. So here is actually a double cut that would be bad. I get on these kicks and I can't stop. So now if you've gone around the outside, which is probably the most important part, see his other ones are open and everything looks good. So now is the time you'd want to smart fill it and then move your smart fill out of the way. Well, grab your smart fill. And then you can left click. I'm going to do it in red just so you know it's different. And now it is sealed. You know, these nodes are together. And, you know, there's quite a few more that would make the drawing look just so much better. If you do this, you don't have to re-smart fill it because we're not filling any gaps. Now, if you see something that's left over, you need to do that. But it'll make it a lot better to, see, I overkilled on one, overshot my boundary. Like if there's a double node right there, you could possibly get rid of one of them. Whenever there's a lot of nodes, and I'm going to say it one more time, I don't know what he's cutting out of. If you ever do anything like that, just back up, take that out, take that out. Double nodes on stuff that I'm cutting, not so much the laser, will cause trouble. Here's another one of those spots he didn't connect. So I'd go all the way around and get all this working because this is going to cut and this is not, it's not going to be a part of the frame. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.